Welcome to Double D-Fense. I'm Liz.
And I'm Christine.
We're bringing you an all-female perspective on the NHL,
plus the PWHL, college hockey, and everything in between. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Christine. Hi, Matt.
Happy Friday, the
Happy
13th.
Happy Friday the 13th. Good to see you guys. Welcome to another episode of Double D-Fense. I'm Liz. I'm joined by Christine, and our very special West Coast correspondent Matt is here to join us as well, as we have a lot of West Coast things to talk about, including the Panarin trade, and then we're going to get into a lot of Olympic hockey.
So far, right? So we're just kind of getting into the heart of everything. It's really exciting, but let's start where everybody else has ended, because they've had a couple weeks to vent, moan, groan, and relieve all their stress and pressure while Liz is in Florida on a business trip, and while we
terrible timing. I feel like I'm always away when major New York Rangers NHL news is breaking. I think I was in a meeting, and I knew that my phone was going to go off during this meeting because they were going to announce where he was traded to. So I'm sitting there trying, and I apologize to whoever I was meeting with, because I think the whole time my phone was on my lap and I was just waiting for it to buzz. And you're like, it's the Kings.
I was getting so stressed. So we'll take it back a little bit on that day, because I know I was texting both of you, as well as other people too, because it kind of came down to just a few teams that they were kind of talking about. One of them was the Capitals, which was giving me, an immediate heart attack. And that's why I think I was most excited when it came up Kings. Look, the clock was ticking. The rumors were spreading everywhere that this was going to happen prior to the freeze, right? So we knew it was coming, and then it happened. So I'm excited for the fact that it wasn't the Capitals, and then doubly excited that he's here in California. So and that's kind of how I portrayed it. It's like, hey, it is the end of an era. We are looking at more changes to come. That's going to be discussed in the future. But right now, look, we've got our side. We're losing a player. Matt's a Kings fan. He's gaining a player. So Matt, with all those rumors, what was going through your mind, and what were you seeing? Because I know you're also on different boards. You kind of tend to be on Reddit, right? And other boards.
Yeah, as the news that came out mentioned that he was going to go to LA, and then all the rumored deals came out. So then I heard, Liam Greentree, a third rounder. What else?
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. Okay. Did the Kings get the trade of the century?
In a vacuum, this is the second best trade in Kings history. Just in terms of value for value,
of course.
Besides the Gretzky trade, I don't think there's any other value for value trade where the Kings have benefited more.
It's better than Corey Perry coming back. Just saying. Yes.
Oh my God.
The answer is yes. Okay.
I'm in a Discord server of Kings fans, and whenever someone goes and makes stupid little trades, we always ask, well, why would the other team do that? And so if someone were to propose, hey, Artemi Panarin for Liam Greentree and a conditional third rounder and a conditional other pick, we would then go, well, why would the Rangers do that? Wouldn't they ask for more? That trade is unbelievable. And hey, guess what? It happened.
It was like a perfect storm to show Drury's insufficiencies as a GM. It really was. Because I imagine that in some ways his hands were tied because of Panarin's no trade clause. So, he had to sign off on everything, and maybe he was very particular about it. But still, I don't know a lot about Liam Greentree, and I'm hoping, Matt, that during this episode you can shed a little bit of more light on who he is and what the Rangers can expect. But it did seem very skewed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and there was a last minute thing too, that he turned down a larger payment from San Jose, but that one kind of fell through because the Rangers kind of wanted some players, and and the Sharks weren't really willing to give that up. And then it came out afterward that Panarin was like, he wants to be here. I mean, he talked about his family and his kids and where he wants to be. He kind of talked longer term, and toward the end of his career, he is 34. Everybody knows that. He's been talking about it, and where he wants to be. I think he ultimately wanted to kind of be with the Ducks, but that was not negotiable at the time. So the next best thing was the Kings. And so it seemed like it worked out that way.
Yeah, I also think the best part about the deal is the extension, right? Because 2 extra years is a perfect length.
Yeah,
it plays so well into the organization's hands.
Yeah, I think that's good. The other part of that deal too was this third round pick that, if Panarin and the team are able to get cohesive, beat Edmonton, get through the first round, so, a lot of it's going to depend on, on how well the Kings do once we're back from this Olympic break, how far they go. The further that they go, the better the deal is for the Rangers. I'm
also surprised. I'm also surprised the Rangers didn't even get another pick, because the Kings, before the trade, the Kings had 9 picks in this upcoming draft. That is a rebuild level amount of picks, and the Kings are trying to win around. They're trying to get past this wall that they've kind of built themselves up for. So I'm just wondering why they didn't even ask for one more pick, and they did with the conditional 2028 pick, I believe. I forgot the conditions on that because it's been about a week, but they did, because with the conditional 2028 pick, but even still, like, not a 5th or 6th rounder, like.
And can you tell us a little bit about Liam Greentree? Like, who are the Rangers getting? Like, why did it not make sense for them to, at this point? I mean, with all due respect to Liam Greentree, why not just try to re-sign Panarin for that same amount of money? It just seems kind of crazy.
Well, Liam Greentree is a fantastic juniors player. We as a fan base were incredibly high on him. He plays for the Windsor Spitfires. In 64 games last year, he had 119 points. That is almost 2 points a game. This year, he's kind of slowed down a little bit. He's been injured. He's played 38 games. He only has 50 points, so he's been slowing down. But even still, you're getting this guy with a large amount of point production. You're getting essentially a young Artemi Panarin. You're getting a young Artemi Panarin in the farm system for Artemi Panarin and an extra pick, right?
That is, if the Rangers knew how to develop a young player.
I was going to say that.
They have a track record of not being able to do that.
We kind of have a problem with that.
He could be another Elias Anderson, just that type of player.
Could be another Lafreniere.
Yeah.
And that's been the talk of the Rangers now. It's like, look, we keep going for these picks, but we don't utilize it as well as we should in the draft, and so, and then of course it goes on to development, of these players, after that, which is where the Rangers are dreadfully failing, on everything. So, so the only thing is, with the Rangers, we're going to see, it'll be interesting when everyone comes back on the week of the 25th. I know that the Kings and Artemi will be playing on February 25th. I plan on being there, so we should go. I was looking for Ducks Kings games for the rest of the season, and they don't even play each other for the rest of the season.
No, it all happened.
Crazy, because I can't wait to wear our jerseys to that game. It's happening, but we have to wait till next season.
Perfect. I can't wait.
But I'm definitely I will be purchasing the new Artemi Panarin jersey. And by the way, the number that he's chosen, is it official now, Matt?
No, it isn't. Yeah. It's so weird, because there were advertisements on the NHL shop that this is Artemi Panarin's number, but then those got taken down.
Oh, interesting. So meanwhile, the Rangers ones are half price that Matt sent me.
Oh yeah, no, you haven't picked this up yet? Come on.
Yeah. You
this is the time to stock up, folks. If you need a Fanatics code, come to us, because we can hook you up.
Double D-Fense. There's a great sale going on this President's Weekend. I'll do it. So yeah, And Matt, you'll tell the story as to why it's not that official yet.
Oh, obviously Panarin's first pick, number 10, that's taken because of Corey Perry. He has worn 72 before when he was on the Blackhawks because he came up through the Blackhawks. That is taken because that is Bailey's number.
The mascot.
The mascot. Yes. Yeah.
I just read about why his number is 72 because I never knew that before. It's the average temperature in Los Angeles, which is great because I love when we go to the games and they troll all the New York area teams with how good the weather is in LA. It's epically amazing. But since when can you not share a number with the mascot? Is that a thing?
Well, maybe this is also just my Disney adult showing, but like the mascot is part of the team, right? You can't have two different numbers or two numbers on the same team. It's like going to Disneyland. It's like going to Disneyland. There won't be two Mickey Mouses with two different lines because that's the same. Like that's the same. It's a double character sighting. It doesn't work. It's similar here, not entirely.
And
not
that's
entirely the same,
the
but it's similar. Yeah.
And that's the reason, it's more like on a monetary side when they're doing promotions and stuff, so which is the big hiccup. And so when are we looking at, because I was reading that it should be like by next week. I mean, obviously they're still working on it, but when are we going to hear this official number? Because he is expected to play in 2 weeks, Yeah,
I think we should hear it within the next week. I'm expecting either 27 because he wore 27 when he was playing for the Red Army, or Bailey changes his number, and I think that's what's going to happen. Is Bailey's going to change his number?
Global warming, the average temperature is probably 73 now.
Hold on, I'm looking this up. I'm looking average LA temp 2024. 2024.
And if it's 72.6, they can round up.
I love Google AI because it says the average temperature is 110.
Well, there you go. That is California. It's just more.
Oh, you know what he should do? He should do the equivalent to 72 in Celsius.
Oh, that would be fun.
So 72, he would be wearing 22.2.
22.2.
See, that'd be cute. That'd be something I could see them doing. They're also saying that Bailey should be 6'7". Yeah. So.
Yeah. The birth of the franchise and nothing else.
So look, it's looking all good. We're the rest of the team is now surviving. I think the break is going to be good. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we get back. We are looking at them just trading off everybody else. So
this also comes at a lucky time. When we're recording this, an hour ago, Kevin Fiala was stretchered off the ice in the Switzerland-Canada game.
I didn't know. I was watching the women's game, so that was the only thing I was watching. So.
I have a triple monitor setup over here, so I've been enjoying the games.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. I've been looking at the NHL Championship betting odds. The Avalanche are still plus 350. They're the number one pick to win the Stanley Cup this year. We have a lot of teams down at the bottom, including our New York Rangers, unfortunately, and the Chicago Blackhawks and the Calgary Flames. But I guess anything can happen. So this is the time to place your bets. New customers bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code XXX. That's code XXX to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL. All rights reserved. So this is a good segue, so while we're waiting for, Panarin to transition his way to sunny California, where the average temperature may or may not be 72 degrees.
22 Celsius.
We'll transition over to the Olympics, which has begun. It's been exciting, and there's so much going on. There's a guy crying on my screen right now who just went down a huge thing and won something, I think. But we're going to focus on hockey, the women's team and the men's teams. Everyone's doing so well. Matthew's been up all night watching games. He's binging all of them after a midnight Rebels game. So, which I think the Rebels won too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, of course they did. I don't think they lost. So what are we liking right now about the teams? And a quick shout out. I'm going to just start it off right now. A quick shout out to Justine Reyes, who Matthew alerted me is, she just played USA versus Italy. She's on the Milan Italy team. She is an old neighbor of ours. Matthew played with her younger sister. So Justine's 28. She's the older sister. There's 4 kids. She lived across the street from us. And her younger sisters, Courtney and Lindsay. I had to look up Courtney. It's been so long. But they used to play for the Lady Ducks. And when Matt used to be playing, they used to have exhibition games against the women, and he would play against Lindsay and Courtney. The girls always won,
and we'd lose. We'd lose.
God, the girls would skate around them, and the guys were like, "Oh, girls, what?" So it was always fun to watch the girls play the guys, back in the day. But she's been playing overseas. I think, Matthew, you were following. How did you find out she was playing for Italy?
Through word of mouth. My brother has been in contact more with the hockey community at home than I have, because I've been in Vegas. And so because of that, he alerted me about it, and oh my God, nice. It sucks. I wish I would have known about it. I wish I would have known about it sooner. Because I found out about 2 games into the tournament.
I did. I rewatched the games, and she did score in the second game, and she was taking down some players today, So, and she was pretty much raved about today being in, they didn't score, but they kind of talked about her and another player being their biggest chance of even scoring, because she had a couple shots on goal today. So
she was on a breakaway, and if it wasn't for Gwyneth Phillips, she would have scored against the U.S.
So close.
Oh my God!
Such a good job. We are very, very proud of her. She's from our hometown. She's a neighbor, and and personal friends of the kids, where everyone kind of grew up on our little street. Mm-hmm. So really fun to hear.
So kind of, let me ask a question. Is she American? Was she born in Italy? What's the qualification to play for the Italian Olympic team?
That's a big question that people are asking too.
So for the past 3 years, or for the past 3 years, she's played on the Italian domestic league, and she's been lighting that league up. She has 2 points a game, and because of that, because she's been in Italy, she's learned the language. She acquired citizenship to then play on the Italian team. This past season, though, she went up into the Swedish league, which is the best women's league in Europe, in order to try to train for the Olympics. But I'd also love to eventually hear her story if we ever get her on this show. I'm so excited.
She's seeing the posts, so she's there. So I'm going to reach out to her for sure, to do that. She's also Italian American, and I know that as I've been praising her here in town, that's been a really good question, is when you start to see these American, athletes performing for other countries, is what's their, their ties. A lot of them do have, so it's a combination. It's a combination of their heritage, and also in the sports that they play and competing there, for a living. So,
I've also noticed in her progression of her career, she's getting better and better and better. So fingers crossed with this upcoming round of PWHL expansion that it frees up enough roster spots for her to maybe come over. Maybe we will buy so many jerseys. We'll buy so many jerseys of her if she gets a roster spot.
That it's an awesome, thing to kind of look forward to, and we'll definitely look at. I'll reach out to see if we can get her on. So, what are the other games? Look at, so on the women's hockey side, USA and Canada are dominating. They've been fun to watch, and kind of just as we're talking, there's really not a lot of comparison. They're so stacked with talented people, from the PWHL on both these teams that, we really are just looking at a wonderful game between the two of them in the finals. Any other upsets or things you're liking on the women's side?
Sweden upset the Czech Republic today.
Yes.
And that's crazy because the Czech Republic was meant to get bronze. They've been very good, but they haven't been connecting as much as everyone thought they would.
That's good. And also, by the way, Italy has gone further than they ever have before. This is the first year they've made it to the quarterfinals. So this is what we love to watch and see. Mm-hmm. Although East Coast time, I think we were talking about this before we went and started recording. West Coast time is super early. Matt's been up all night. I just was reading how the men's final gold medal round is going to be at 5 a.m. For us, at least. I know it's early for it's
early for East Coasters, but it's crazy early for us on a Sunday too.
No, I don't remember when that 1980 Olympic game was, but I know it was super early in the morning for me. I was watching it on a TV that was on a table. Remember when we had TVs on tables, older people? That's how we watch stuff. And it was early in the morning. And I remember, I don't know what time it was. I just know it was really early, and they won. And I think I went outside screaming, and no one was around. It was just so early, and it was cold. So I remember that, And I also, so we'll switch over to the guys because I was talking to you guys about it earlier. It's really funny. Like I actually watched the 1980 Olympics live. Jim Craig has been posting a lot of things and bringing back a lot of memories. And watching those games really is what made my heart so full with hockey, and where I just fell in love with it. It didn't hurt that the Islanders started winning the Stanley Cup right after the Olympics. So that, because it brought all the attention, not only to like Long Island and New York, but to my town. They had parades down Grand Avenue in Baldwin. And so, but it's funny in watching these NHL players be like, I watched the movie and this is what I inspire to do. Mm-hmm. It's like, so they're not even like watching old footage or anything. They're watching the movie and falling in love with that inspiration, that they have. And a lot of that Herb Brooks energy, that's kind of brought to the surface with a lot of these guys. So we have a lot of newcomers in on the guys side, and they're excelling very well. And what are you liking right now about the men's hockey?
Canada is broken. Oh my God. They are a step above everybody at the moment. Even the US, who I think will eventually get to Canada's level as the knockouts progress, as the preliminaries, that's the European word, as the preliminaries and the knockouts progress. But oh my God, just this is what happens.
Why is Canada so good, I wonder?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Bedard and Celebrini, or not Bedard. What am I saying? Like Crosby and Doughty, who are the two vets of the team. They're the only two players to play in a previous Olympics with NHLers before they started their careers. Or I'm confusing myself. I'm confused. Crosby and Doughty are old. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They are stretched.
I know. Well, they had a mix. they got the oldest guys playing versus like the newcomers, on that team. So again, this is another thing we're pretty much, although there was a big upset today, right? On the men's side too.
Was there?
Yeah, Finland upset Sweden for the first time.
Is that an upset?
28 years they beat them, I think it's.
Oh.
So double check that for me, Matt. But I think that's what I saw.
That was a little surprising because Finland dropped to the Slovaks, which was incredibly interesting.
Those first two games were, I don't know, strange to watch because it was like the ones that seemed to not be shooting as much, they won. They just had better shots. They scored and they won. And so watching those games, a little flat. So, and of course, I think this other one either happened really early or during the women's game, so I wasn't able to watch it. I'll watch the replays later on that one. But what are we looking at? Like how what's the strength of the other teams compared to USA and Canada on the men's side?
I mean,
it's good.
Canada is. I don't know how to explain it, especially with what happened. Happened at Four Nations. Right now at the moment, Canada's gold. If we compare everything, that's what's happening to the Four Nations. It is working out pretty much the exact same. The U.S. is making some missteps here and there with their roster construction and their leadership. Like Canada.
Shocker. I just want to jump in and say shocker on that because we know who's in charge and also who's on the team. Stop talking now.
Canada has veteran leadership in Sidney Crosby, who is probably the greatest captain of the 21st century. And I'm not saying the greatest player of the 21st century. Sidney Crosby is the greatest leader in all of NHL history, or at least in the 21st century. He leads his team so well with veterans that he knocks them up a level, and that's already on top of a stacked roster. Meanwhile, the U.S. decided to give the captaincy to Austin Matthews.
Yeah, but also, all right, so yesterday's game, we saw a couple things. One, we'll talk about the refs in a second and the rules, because that, look, the U.S. scored 2 goals that were disallowed.
Weird.
And it was crazy. And so the rules, are a lot tighter, as we were kind of looking at them, but not really. So they were kind of crazy. But let me say, in the end, I'm feeling, because the U.S. is also emphasizing this matchup with the brothers, right? So it's, it's the Kachuk brothers, it's the Quinn brothers, and they're on the same lines. They're out there, and they, they're producing. But then, I think with that approach, you kind of lack a bigger team effort that we're going to see in Canada, on the Canadian team. How do you think that'll play into the rest of these games? Do you think that, they're going to use the strength of these, these 4 guys, and use that to kind of get through anything? Or do you think they'll kind of even out? And do you think there'll be a match for Canada?
The strength is a plus in the NHL, but with these rules that are not derogatorily, but a little softer, there's no fighting. There's less physicality.
Well, that's supposed to be fighting. Everybody's fighting. Everybody's fighting.
Yeah.
The women are fighting.
There's less fighting. Less. It just feels like this roster was built with a different rule set in mind, and that's what really worries me. Comes the knockout. How do you get into someone's head when you can't? How do you get in someone's head when you can't run a guy? Oh yeah, you can crash the net, but then you just face wash a guy, and everyone just goes to the bench. It's not that doesn't do anything in the long run. Right. You really need to send a message coming out of the gate. That's what they did in the Four Nations. That's what everyone remembers. Everyone remembers the 3 fights in 10 seconds. Whereas you can't do that in this Olympics. And so we've seen this roster built with a mindset that doesn't apply into this Olympics.
Interesting.
Also, I have a question. Do we know the condition of the ice? Because that was such a big point of contention prior to the Olympics starting. I haven't heard Kenny Albert, which also I love the fact that he's the announcer for this. I think the first time I turned on the game, I was like, what? He sounds very familiar. So I'm glad he's doing the announcing because I think he's really good. But I haven't heard anybody talk about it. It looks like they're skating quickly. Like the women look fast. Like nobody's falling over the way that they do in the Stadium Series games. So I feel like the condition of the ice is good, but I haven't heard any references to like the disaster that it was putting this Olympic rink together.
Yeah, everything has seemed to go by the wayside in that sense. They got the rink finished with hours to spare on February 4th. It was funny. It didn't even look like all the apparently not even all the concession stands were open during that first game, but they ended up getting it done. I had faith that they would, even though it did come down pretty scarily close. What I am worried about now is 2030. I'm not sure if you've seen the news about 2030's venue.
No, where is it?
All right. So 2030's games are going to be in France, right?
You have to go.
France is a B tier hockey country, right? They know about it, but they don't really have the infrastructure for it. They have one or two big hockey arenas here or there, but they don't really have two venues close to each other that you kind of need with something like Milan. So instead, what they're doing is they're planning on playing outdoor games
in France.
Yep. They're planning on taking Nice's soccer stadium, splitting it in half, and then having two rinks.
They're doing it in Nice?
Yep.
Okay, I just for the record, I have been to Nice and Cannes like more times than I can count because of the business that I'm in. I've had to go there twice a year for many, many years. It is not cold enough there to accomplish that. I can guarantee you.
So, yeah,
there's no way.
There's 4 years.
Yeah,
but I'm so there for that. Like, why not?
There's absolutely no way.
They're taking Nice's stadium, they're splitting it down the middle, making two 15,000 seat arenas.
I mean, why not?
No, but outdoors?
Hey, we can play hockey in Florida. We can play hockey in France.
They're tarping off the roof.
It's the south of France.
It's a roof thing. There's always a roof in these outdoor games.
Watch Brice de Nice. It's a great film. But still, I'm curious at how this is going to work because, like, sure, Stadium Series games have happened. We can do it in Florida. We can do it in Tampa Bay.
I just need to laugh for a second because also the Nice airport is probably the worst airport I've ever been to. So I can just imagine how this is going to be. I didn't know it was going to be there. That's so funny. We'll do a whole episode on this as we get closer.
And we're starting our fund to go because it's happening.
That is definitely happening, 100%.
So yeah. So what games are up next?
Right.
I know a lot of games happened today. What games are up next, man?
I'm looking at the schedule right now. I actually don't know off the top of my head because I'm watching too much hockey and I haven't really gotten that much sleep.
I was really looking forward to such a nice break from hockey and such a nice break from seeing JT Miller, but obviously that's not happening now.
Hey,
I feel hungover.
The Rangers are keeping us in this game because it's like it was Trocheck in the blue paint and caused the penalty, or the overturning of the goal, even though I don't even know what happened because there was no interference. There was more interference when Mark Stone kind of went and scored that goal. He did the same move. He had the same foot placement in the blue paint. I think he touched the goalie a little bit, but his goal scored and they got the one, called back with Trocheck in the blue paint. And so, and I think I was texting Matt, like looking up these rules. Now, there's not a lot of difference in any of the rules. One of them is, the rink is a little differently shaped. It's wider, right? And also, so other rules, they're all wearing neck guards, although some of them aren't really wearing them right, which I'm noticing, which is funny. So that's supposed to be mandatory for everybody. I'm not sure I'm seeing it on everyone, though. The goalie interference, they're supposed to be a little bit more particular on. Fighting, they're supposed to be a little bit more particular on. But it's still a little,
Have we seen what happens in the gold medal game after regulation? If the game is tied?
No. Oh, no.
It is different. A fight would be
and
fun.
and the
For the
overtime.
gold, for the gold, that'd be funny.
Yes. They have to do the decathlon with a luge.
That would be great. Go do that.
Oh man, I'm trying to think like oh man, imagine if the curling teams tied, they'd have to play the game for the gold medal. Oh,
I still don't understand that game, but people are like, the reason I like this game is because it's the one thing you could probably do drunk and still win.
Have
And
you
I'm
seen
like,
people
I'm all
doing
for
it with seen people doing it with their Roombas?
I think it's great. Like, okay, Liz, it's our next TikTok. Don't laugh at that. I have my Roomba right here. I'm gonna bring it over.
So Matt, wait, what do they do for a tie in the gold?
so what we want is obviously 5-on-5 continuous overtime, right? That is what happened. That is just what happens when
No,
you're at
it'll
such
go
an
right
important
into the
game.
opening ceremonies with
Apparently.
that rate. So we can't have that. So what's the alternative, man?
It is continuous 3-on-3 overtime
Oh,
For
I
a
want
gold
this to happen
medal?
so bad.
for the gold medal.
Well, better than a
Nice.
shootout. Can you imagine winning a gold medal?
Well,
Threes even.
that's how Czechia
We
won.
won't, or I don't think it'll be tie. What do you call like? All right, so what do you think? Gold medal? Call it. What do you say? I'm gonna say Canada, USA. I'm gonna say Canada wins by 2. I don't know the final score.
Canada wins in
5-3.
overtime.
Huh?
Canada wins in overtime, and they give us PTSD from 2010. Yeah,
I'm going USA.
By what? What's the score?
I'm going to say 5-3.
And what are we drinking at 5 a.m., Liz?
Are we? Yeah. There's only one choice, and it's a Bloody Mary, obviously.
We should make it an all-night party.
Maybe we'll do a live. We should do a live.
We should totally do like
We'll figure something out. Yes.
in my bed, because that's about how far I'm going to get from that.
Double D-Fense slumber party. That's what it sounds like.
That could work, actually.
Yeah.
So aside from hockey, what other sport are you liking right now? Like, are you looking at anything else? Are you guys watching anything else with the Olympics?
I'm
Besides
trying.
curling's not fun. I still don't really understand the rules.
I'm trying to watch alpine downhill skiing, but there's so much hockey on that I haven't gotten around to paying attention to it as much as I want.
I'm loving the curling with you, and I love watching other people watch curling, like the people who are in the stands who are so into it. And then I love watching the team celebrate, because it's like whatever they've done is the greatest thing ever, and they're so happy with their little sweeper.
I'm like, oh, okay. I know, that's me too. It is I agree with you. It is a happy sport. I don't know what is not happy about it.
It's a gentleman's sport. It's the only sport without a referee. It's the only team sport without a referee. Yeah.
That's funny. Look, we're the ice skating is really good. Ice dancing, I'm not really getting too much. Right now there's the shooting and the skiing thing, which is super fun. I like those kind of things. And I always like rooting for underdogs and seeing some of the things. So a lot of the highlights that are going on. I don't know if I texted you both, but I'm loving, if you're watching it on Peacock, because I don't think they're showing it on the other channels, but they show the intermissions between the periods. They just let the camera go, and they started doing like freeze dancing. Like, it's really a fun little thing that they're doing on the intermissions. I heard that a cameraman fell in one of the intermissions today against the women's team. But they were doing freeze dancing, and I'm like, why are we not doing that at NHL games? That'd be so fun. They're like, everybody put your drinks, and they dance, and everybody freeze. And they just keep doing it for like the whole intermission. They've got good music, and they seem to be entertaining. Everyone seems to be having a good time representing, their everybody's country. There was a good representation today at the women's game of USA. I was looking for Troy and Tracy in the crowd. I know they're in there somewhere. But there was so many. It's also good to see some of some of these teams kind of really, showing up, or the crowds for the countries kind of showing up and doing that. That's always something that I like watching as well. So so a lot of fun pictures, and with the crowds and stuff, for that. So that's that's pretty exciting. It's making me think, like, the summer games are going to be here in LA. It's like, what would I want to be going and seeing and watching, when they're here. So, and I've had a chance to wear my Christmas present. I'm not going to not shy away from the fact that from my child, it's here, and it's partner that I got my USA gear. So I've been wearing it to represent, the teams as they started playing with the men's team starting yesterday. So, so you're right. A lot of fun hockey, all crazy early morning hours, and so we're going to enjoy that before the misery of the NHL comes back. Matt, just real quick, what do you expect to see? I mean, we don't have any. Look, there's one or two people on Facebook that are like, we're not out of this yet, and have hope, but then they're getting shot down by the other naysayers in the crowd. When we come back from this Olympic break with your newly acquired player, what are you looking to see, in this home stretch? Because this is where we're going to really kind of have fun talking about this home stretch, into these, the finals and seeing where we get. The Kings are right there.
I'm hoping to see goals. That feels like it's our one problem. We can't score.
We had that this year.
Huh? What?
Artemi's going to score everything now that he's not on the Rangers. You're going to see. You've seen the freedom. You've seen the freedom of Kreider. I mean, like one of the games right before, they played before they all left. They played against Vegas, and Vegas was great. They're like, we just got Kreidered. So now it's a verb. I'm like, it's great. So. He's going to have the freedom to do what he wants, and I think he's going to excel in doing that. Just as long as you know how to pick him up and follow his twirls. Just keep the little lane open for him, and then he'll score all the goals for you. Yeah.
Good luck. Good, because the way that our coach play style is, it's score one more than the other team and then hold. And that totally works against Connor McDavid and the Oilers. That totally works.
So that's the big consensus I've seen from everybody. There's kind of that same story. So as we're flipping the narrative from like the Rangers to the Kings now, is where they excel and kind of where they fail. So look, they're right on the board of this wild card spot, right? So the hope is that you're going to kind of score, kind of win the games, get the points, solidify your spot in there. And then try not to play the Oilers the first round. It's just like all fingers crossed, right?
It's going to end up happening. If we squeak into a wild card spot, the Oilers will do everything in their power to win a division for the first time since the 80s to then play us. That's what's going to happen.
It's going to be a battle, though, because the Kings, the Ducks, and the Sharks were neck and neck just before the break. So this is going to start going any and all directions. It's going to get good. I mean, especially from our perspective too, where our main team is out of it. So we have our B teams that we're kind of rooting for, and likely we're going to see some Rangers get pretty far this year. So that's exciting. Some ex-Rangers.
Yeah, the Knights in any other division would be out of a playoff spot, but they're leading the division. So,
it's weird.
Now,
it's a weird year.
Yeah, and that kind of changed too, because they didn't have the ability to kind of put Mark Stone on IR and then call him back, when the cap didn't matter, so there's a little bit of a different, take on things. Now, the other question is this big question, because we were talking about this before, where I think the season is so wonky, but, part of it could have been this Olympics. I think it was. I think a lot of guys were focusing on the Olympics. We saw them out on IR. We even had a big to-do about Adam Fox being removed, not being chosen, but he's been injured, so that went on way too much. Now when we come back, there's truly going to be 100% focus back on to the NHL and each player's respective teams. Do we see, and that's where I think we're going to see really the true teams kind of start to shine. Do you think your team's going to have focus, back on there? Do you think, what do you think is going to happen once everybody returns? Besides like this trade deadline coming up too, that's going to mix everything up. It just affects our team. You guys are fine. They're going to trade all the rest of our favorite players, but they're all going to come out here.
I don't know what could anything could happen. The Sabres could go on and win the division and go on a streak and win the cup, and none of us would be truly surprised based on how they've been playing.
It was kind of like the Kings back in 2012, so let them go and fly. You never know.
Like, anything could happen. And when anything happens, none of us are going to be surprised about it, because the season has been so weird, because the season has been so wonky and compressed, and other adjectives to use to describe how weird the season has been, because it's, I don't know. The Olympic years are weird, and they've been weird. It's just that they haven't played, and I'm glad we have it back, despite one of our offensive producing players going down for his country.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see really like how everyone just starts to kind of retrain their focus, because I do think up until this point, to this Olympic point, there was not a lot of focus. I mean, I think people didn't want to get injured. There's just a lot of things, and you can kind of see that in play amongst a variety of teams. And even like the Panthers, and with the Kachuk guys, I mean they're coming off of injury, I mean that's been you can tell, because it's a focus of conversation with the fact that they didn't play together in the All Nations, because of the injuries and stuff. But now that they're there, they really are just looking at this as a matchup. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of. I'm going to say I'm not a fan at all of professionals playing in the Olympics, so, but it is what it is, and right now for me, it's just more of a popularity kind of show. So it's not as exciting. I like the underdogs. I like Italy getting farther than they've ever gone before. And I like to promote that and be excited for that. USA women's team is great. It's going to be a great game, a matchup. It's going to be USA, Canada for both the women and the men. I think USA is going to take it on the women's side. I think Canada's going to take it on the men's side, and and it'll be good representing everybody. So.
On that note, everybody, good luck to all the teams. Good luck to all the players involved. We are very supportive, despite our grumbling.
Exactly. And definitely, it's a birthday shout out today to my friend Mike, who, if you haven't, and I'm going to promote it right now because why not? He wrote this book, the 100 centennial anniversary of the New York Rangers. So if you're in New York and you need a gift for somebody, go ahead and buy his book. So happy birthday, Mike, from us to you. We wish you an amazing day today.
Happy birthday, Mike. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.